Hello and welcome to Elyssa Elephant. And hey, there she is right there. Oh, so cute, right? Lifting her trunk up like that. She's probably smelling for water because she is thirsty. Hey, this is an on your own problem, so you should have solved the entire problem on your own. And now you're watching this video to make sure you did everything correct. And now, on to our scenario. Elyssa Elephant is thirsty. There is very little water on the African plains at this time of year. Luckily for Elyssa and her herd, a local farmer gives a bucket of cool water to each elephant in Alyssa's family. So that means Elyssa gets a bucket, her mama gets a bucket, her daddy gets a bucket, her uncle gets a bucket, everybody gets a bucket, right? And that is very nice of that farmer. Okay, on with our scenario. Each bucket holds 5-6 gallons of water. If Alyssa's trunk holds 2/7 of a gallon, how many trunkfuls will Elyssa get to drink? Alrighty, well, let's just figure this out, my friends. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and write down some of this information, right? Now, the farmer, he's a very generous fella. He has a bucket that is 5/6 of the way full, right? And then he's going to divide that amongst the trunkfuls, right? And Alyssa's trunk will hold 2/7 of a gallon of water, right? And that means she's going to take 2/7 of water, take a little from this, right? Then take another 2/7, take a little from that. And we got to figure out how many trunkfuls she's going to get, right? Well, let's go ahead and make our mathematical model first. And I'm going to make a little bit more room. And let's go ahead and make our fraction box, make a big old fraction box, right? And the first thing I want to do is cut it into 6 parts, right? 6 parts means 5 lines. So here we go. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lines, right? That gives me 6 parts. Now, the bucket is 5 out of the 6 full, right? So let's go ahead and use blue for this because we're talking about water. And I'm going to fill in 5/6 of the bucket full, right? So now we have 5 out of those 6. Now, Alyssa's trunk here will hold 2/7 of a gallon, right? So now we got to cut it this way into 7 parts. 7 parts means 6 lines, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 lines. That should give me 7 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is perfect, right? Okay, so now she gets 2 out of those 7, right? So for every 2, and I'm going to just go ahead and circle it, this would be 1 trunkful, right? 1 trunkful right there. But as you see, that's not full, right? So I'm going to take some of these. I'm going to take this one right here. I'm going to actually make this a little bigger so I can color these in better. So I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to move it into these 2 spots here, right? And so now that's 1 full trunkful, right? That's 1 trunkful of water. Superb. Now, I'm going to grab these 2, and I'm going to just move these 2 over here to fill in this one. Now this creates a second trunkful, right? Okay, and let's just circle those. All right, so that's her second trunkful. Yummy, cool water coming down her throat. I love it. And then I'm going to take this one right here and move it up here. And now it's not a full trunk, right? The trunk is not completely full, but it's almost full, right? Well, let's go ahead and see how full it is. So what I want to do here is just start counting the parts. And I got to make that a little smaller. So she got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops, that's a 10. 11 out of, and she needs 12, right? Because if she filled this in, it'd be full, right? So there's 12 parts. So she's got 11 out of those 12. I'm going to just enlarge this so I got a little bit more room to write my 12. 11 twelfths. And right there you have it, my friends. So how many trunkfuls does she have? Well, she has 2 and 11 twelfths. And you can see that right here. Here's one trunkful. Here's a second trunkful. There's still a little bit of water left in that bucket, right? And then she doesn't have a full trunk load, but she's got 11 out of the 12 portions that she could fill up within her little trunky there, right? And so she's got 2 and 11 twelfths trunkfuls of water that she has drank. And that is lovely, my friends. Very, very nice of that farmer. All right. Hey, that is how you solve the mathematical model. Let's go ahead and look at how we would solve this with the algorithm, right? So when you're dividing fractions, you can do 2 things. You could either multiply the reciprocal, and I'm going to show you that first. So I'm going to go and just multiply the reciprocal. So I'm going to write the same 5, 6 down. I'm going to convert this from division to multiplication. And then I'm going to convert this by multiplying the reciprocal. Reciprocal means I flip this upside down. So the 2 will go on the bottom, right? And the 7 will go up on top. And that is multiplying the reciprocal. And then you just multiply like normal, right? So 5 times 7 is going to give me 35, right? And then 2 times 6, actually 6 times 2, right, is going to give me 12, right? And bam! And now, as you notice, this is a top-heavy or improper fraction, which means I can convert this into a mixed number. Well, let's go ahead and do that right now. Think of fractions in 3 ways: 35 twelfths, 35 out of 12, or in this case, 35 divided by 12. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And I got 35 divided by 12, right? Well, 12 will go in there 2 times. And we've got 2 times 2 is going to give me 4. And then 2 times 1 will give me 2, right? Or you could think of 2 times 12 as 24. Either way works, right? And then when we subtract, we get 5 minus 4 is going to give us 1. And 3 minus 2 is also going to give us 1. And then this is our remainder, and you take your remainder, and that becomes your numerator, right? So 11 out of, and then you're going to take your divisor, and that becomes your denominator. So 11 out of 12. And if you look, 2 and 11 twelfths agrees with our mathematical model right here. And that is really cool. Here we have 2 and 11 twelfths, and 1, 2, and 11 out of 12. Awesome, my friends. Hey, that is the answer. However, I got one more thing I wanted to show you. I told you you could do this in 2 ways. The first one was multiplying the reciprocal. The second way is to use mountains and valleys. Let's go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to grab, how about red? And we're going to make our mountain first. So I'm going to go 6 times 2 is going to give me 12 down here, right? And then I'm going to make my valley, and I'm going to go 5 times 7, and that's going to give me 35 up here on top. And either way, as you see, whether you use mountains and valleys or you multiply the reciprocal, you still get the same answer of 35 twelfths. And then both of those would get simplified to 2 and 11 twelfths, right? Hey, that is all there is to solve this problem. If you made a mistake, as you know by now, pause the video, fix your mistake. That is the fastest way to learn. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon.